Bonsoir and welcome to another episode of r/ProRevenge. Before we jump into it though, I'd just like to say as your host for the evening, Ryan, I'd really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button and that notification bell to stay up to date on all the latest videos. I had an office food thief, so I bought a nanny cam. A couple of things about me that made it really suck to have a food thief. I have a lot of food allergies, so I can't just get lunch at the cafeteria or at a nearby restaurant. I have a new baby who I'm breastfeeding and who I pump for when I'm at work. You know hungry people? They are nowhere near as hungry as pregnant people. Yeah, the caloric requirement for breastfeeding is 100 to 200 calories higher. I am always hungry. Because I have a new baby, half the time I don't manage to show up at work with a lunch. I either run out of time to pack one, or if I did remember, I leave it on the counter. My solution to all of this was to leave lots of non-perishable snacks in my office. And also a lot of candy because I have a 3-year-old and therefore work is the only place I can shovel Skittles into my mouth without a little hand extending into my field of vision and a little voice saying, please. Snacks that were specifically free of my allergens, some of which were specialty foods because of this. The type of specialty food that just doesn't taste as good as the food that contains the allergen, and also costs twice as much. Because I'm not getting a lot of sleep right now, I deserve nice things. So, because I'm not getting a lot of sleep right now, when I first came back to maternity leave, assembled my snack hoard, and started having things go missing. I genuinely thought I was just losing my mind. Boxes of candy were running out faster than I thought I was eating them. I'd come in the morning and things wouldn't be where I left them. At one point, I brought a bag of chips to work, folded the rim of the bag down so I wasn't plunging my arm elbow deep into a grease pit, and then put a bag clip on it when I went home, and when I came in the next morning, the bag was unrolled and re-clipped. I went, wow, I must be more than tired, I thought. Rolled the bag back down, and the next morning it was unrolled again. Just little things like that. Almost every day that made me go, wow, the post-baby brain is worse than I thought. And then I got the flu. I got the flu and I was out for a whole week. Left behind at the office was an almost full box of Enjoy Life cookies, which are not enjoyable but are free of all major allergens, and are also $5 a box for like 12 sad little sand pies with some cinnamon on top. I ate one row of these cookies, and when I was out of the office for 1 week, I was not eating any of my snack hoard. But someone else was. Because I came back to work, opened my box of cookies, and found one. There was one single solitary cookie left. And on further examination, the box of candy that had been opened was nowhere to be found. And on top of that, the thief had done me the courtesy of opening a new box for me, except that they actually followed the push here to open instructions instead of just ripping one end of the box open like I do. Which they should damn well know at this point, because by this time, they'd been stealing from me for 2 goddamn months. The combination of these two things, the sheer freaking audacity it takes to open a new box so you can continue stealing from someone, on top of the consumption of almost a whole box of specialty cookies that aren't even good, enraged me enough that after going to my boss and getting some vague promises about checking the security cameras in my wing of the building are functional or not, I went straight to Amazon and ordered myself a nanny cam. Not for my baby, for my snack hoard. Conveniently, it arrived the day before Valentine's Day. I set it up on top of a file cabinet looking down at my desk. On the desk, I laid out a fantastic spread of bait, snacks, and I got my thief's favorites. And then I took it one step further. I bought myself a Valentine heart, broke the seal to make it more inviting, and left it out on my desk. The next morning, I came into some very obvious snack carnage. My thief had slowly been getting more brazen. Again, who opens a new box of something, and who opens it differently than the person they're stealing from? But this wasn't on another level. Individually wrapped things had been dumped out of their boxes. Bits of packaging had been thrown away, and yep, they'd eaten some of the Valentine candy. For shame, office thief. Don't you know that's from someone who loves me? I played back the video. All was quiet through most of the evening, and I was just watching the shadows lengthen as the sun slowly set through the hallway window. And then, shortly before midnight, the night janitor arrived. and went right ahead and took a 12-minute break in my office, sitting in my chair, eating my food. I started taking screenshots. I got him shoveling candy into his mouth with full palm-to-lips intensity, pouring things out onto the desk to pick his favorite flavors, not even bothering to put them back where he found them, and yes, eating my damn Valentine's Day candy. Screenshots went directly to my boss in an email. I went directly to my boss's door to hover and grin and ask if he'd read my email. And I got assurances of strongly worded email to the cleaning company and the bearing of this particular employee from our place of business. I was also tactfully added to please take my unauthorized spy camera home, which I did. I thought this was over until the girl who works the concession stand dropped by to thank me. Apparently the food thief would start the shift just as she was closing down for the night and would try and get free coffee in that creepy guy way. And then, one of the reception staff came by with one of the same sentiments. I'd never met the guy face to face, but apparently as a woman, it's not a fun experience to have. I'd shown my screenshots to a few coworkers, who's eating you/5 rabbits in a long coat's food, and become office gossip by this point. And word spreads fast. I worked an earlier shift, so I didn't recognize him, but people whose shifts overlapped with his did. I hadn't told my husband about what I'd done because when I came home raging about the blatant theft that had gone on while I had the flu, his only response had been, "You really shouldn't be leaving food at work then." But when I came home with the nanny cam and explained where and why I'd gotten it, his reaction surprised me. "You know, I think this is the first time I've seen you stand up for yourself. I'm proud of you." You know what, Reddit? I'm proud of me too. Want to undercut me on a job by doing shady and poor work? Fine, just wait and see. I was an observer in this whole affair, but to say I didn't enjoy the hell out of it would be a lie. Company A did fencing/walls/barriers, etc. Company A was ran by Bob. Bob was a real upstanding guy, took over the business from his father and really grew into something big. Bob had an employee, Jake. Jake had been with Company A for quite a few years, but Bob and Jake always rubbed off on each other in the wrong ways. Bob always felt like Jake was the king of shortcuts and shoddy workmanship. When Bob took over the company from his dad, Bob applied more pressure on Jake to bring up the quality of his work or be let go. Eventually, Jake got tired of the increased pressure and quit and formed his own fencing company called Company B. Here's where I come in. I started a job in a company providing business services to small to medium-sized businesses in the area, and both Company A and Company B became my clients. This was several years after Company B had formed. From my outside viewpoint, Company A was that local company that's been around forever that does good quality work when you can trust it. But they aren't going cheap. They never try to be cheap, but you can trust them. Company B was the young startup who was cutting corners and being competitive in every way possible, often by lying or misleading its customers. That's when Company C comes in. Company C was building a production facility in the area and wanted a wall with gates around its new production facility. This was going to be a big contract, and really the only two players in the area that could possibly do the job was Company A or Company B. This contract was worth a lot. If my memory serves me correctly, the job was somewhere near 7 figures. Company A and Company B went to go bid. Company B came in there like a 30% lower price point, and even though Bob tried to explain it, it wasn't possible for Company B to do the work that was promised at the price that was given. Of course, money talks, and Company B got the contract. I remember Bob was furious. In his eyes, he felt what Jake was doing was wrong. He didn't mind fair competition, but Jake's MO had always been way underbid, overpromise, rely on cost overruns to make a profit. Bob's opinion on business was a price is a price, and if he says he's going X for Y, he's going to do X for Y. Even if he loses money, it's how he was raised. Some time goes by and Bob gets a call from Company C. They've apparently fired Jake and his company due to not being able to do the work required, and asked Bob if he could come in and fix the mistakes. Bob agrees and gets the job done. At this point, Bob starts thinking he's gonna take Jake out. Jake is taking too much money out of his pocket. Bob comes up with the idea of buying Jake out, but Bob knows if he approaches Jake regardless of what he offers to pay, Jake is gonna say no. So Bob has got to be smart. Bob is talking to me about doing one of our meetings. We had become quite close. tell Bob, I bet there are lawyers out there who specialize in helping other companies acquire other companies. Bob asks me if I know any. I don't, but I did have a client who specialized in business law who would be more familiar with this whole thing. I give Bob his contact info and Bob thanks me. Bob contacts the lawyer and tells the lawyer what he'd like to do. The lawyer tells Bob a lawyer who used to work for him now works for a firm that specializes in mergers and acquisitions. And if Bob wanted to buy out Jake's company, he's confident this firm could get it done. Also, this firm is in the big city, far away from their small community, so it's unlikely Jake would know that that's what's truly going on. Bob contacts the firm and says he wants to buy out his competitor and would like to enlist their services. Now this is already getting a bit longer, so I'll get to the point. The firm ended up buying Jake's company, lock, stock, and barrel, and gave the company to Bob. All the while, Jake was completely oblivious to the fact that his arch-enemy had just acquired his very own company. I recall Bob describing to me the day he walked into Jake's company with such delight. Bob was told he owned the company. Jake had been paid and was expecting to meet the new owner of the company that pleasant Monday morning. Jake was given the title of general manager and was considered second in command now. So Bob walked into the building that once belonged to Jake with his documents and the lawyer that had helped him acquire the firm, who Jake was familiar with. Bob walked into Jake's office to Jake's surprise. Hi, Bob. Hi, Jake. How are you? I'm good. What are you doing here? Oh, nothing much. Just thought I'd come check out my new acquired business. Jake, you sold your company to me. I did what? No, I didn't. I sold it to XYZ. XYZ is the law firm I hired to organize the transaction. I'm now the owner. That's bullshit. Here's the documents. The lawyer who Jake was familiar with confirmed this was all true. So you're my boss now? Yes. Now get up. That's my chair and I'm tired. I want to sit down for a minute. This is my office. This is my company. And I have decided that this office is now my office. So I'm going to need you to get out of my chair. Jake gets out of the chair. Great. Well, have a sit, Jake. Thanks. Jake, I think the first order of business today is getting rid of redundancies. What do you mean? Well, you see, Jake, whenever a company acquires another company, you get overlap redundancies. 2 HR departments, 2 secretaries, 2 accountants, etc. But now it's all one company. So now you got redundancies, overlaps, which is quite frankly a waste of money. Yeah. And I don't need 2 owners working for one company. Ha ha ha! He laughed and had the biggest shit-eating grin on his face. Jake, it's become apparent that your services are no longer required, and effective immediately, you are terminated. Jake protested. The decision is final. You may collect your personal belongings and leave the premises. What time did you get to work this morning? 7 a.m.? Great, so you've been here for 2 hours. I'll make sure payroll pays you out the 2 hours on the agreed upon rate in the buyout agreement. Have a nice day. So you're just firing me? Just like that? Yep, should have done this long ago. What about my family? Jake, I just bought your company from you and paid you a lot of money. You'll be fine. Now get out of my office and out of my building. And that is how Bob acquired and fired an employee he should have fired long before. Some background. I remember the day vividly when Bob scheduled an appointment with me to go over Company B's services and negotiate a new service contract with us. It was the day Bob had fired Jake. Bob was in a great mood, one of the best moods ever. We did the business we needed to handle, and Bob said, PJ, you helped me a lot. Get this all done. I'd like to invite you out to dinner and drinks, and let's watch Monday Night Football together. I really hadn't. I said, Bob, I really didn't do much. He said, oh yes you did. You pointed me in the right direction. I go, well, that's the least I could do. He said, very well. I'd still like to take you out for dinner and drinks if that's all right with you. Now, I'm not one to turn down free beer and food, so I agreed. And that night, Bob and I went to a local hangout and watched Monday Night Football and ate and drank beer, as Bob recounted his whole experience with such joy. Bob later rebranded Jake's company as a commercial-only enterprise and refocused his main company on residential, and both companies still exist today and ran by Bob and his son now. And they lived happily ever after. Bye-bye! And that about does it for today's r/ProRevenge. If you liked it, I'd highly recommend checking out our playlist along with any of our other videos. As always, my name's Ryan, the official host of Askreddit Tells, and I look forward to seeing you guys